questions. Who is a black woman? What does she look like? What is the reality of a black woman? As a woman, and or as a person, how do we see the black woman? What do we expect of her? And what is it that when we want to describe somebody, we say, it's a black woman. Did you see the black woman that just came in there? And when we see a woman who is not black, a white woman, we say, did you see the woman that came in there? Why must we add something to the definition when we're talking about a black woman? So, what do we expect of a black woman? And you can begin from any question you'd like to make your comments.
When you're describing somebody, I mean, if you want to tell somebody else, did you see so-and-so that came in? Most of the time it is the perception of what race they are, or what, maybe what their hair look like, or what clothes they have on. But that's the way we have describing them at first. I really don't see how us getting around that.
Okay, good. Yes.
I'm not African American, just African. And one of the challenges that I'm facing here is describe yourself. I used to tell my friends that for the first time I came to know that I'm black. Because wherever I'm coming from, there is nothing I call they can your car, because is it because all of us are black? I don't know. Because like wherever I'm coming from is we have dark people, like dark skinned people, like me, and you have light skinned people. But there's human beings. So you don't remember the black thing in you, and you don't remember the white thing in somebody else.
I can relate to what she is saying, and it's very helpful in understanding different perspectives about blackness. I did not have that sensibility of being black growing up. So the first time I went to get a passport, they told me to fill a form, and this was back in Nigeria. I filled the form, it said color. I wrote brown. The reason why I wrote brown was because that was what I was taught in kindergarten, and it had remained with me. Black is this one is silver, this one is white, this is green. So that's how I learned my colors. I knew the colors out. And my passport came back, and they described my color as black. So I'm like, why would they do this? I was a teenager traveling to England for the first time. I had that apprehension. If something happens to me, the police will be looking for someone who's black. They won't even know me. I'm not black. You gotta change this. You gotta change it. Just go. Nothing will happen to me. Just go. I said, but you know, how can I be carrying someone else's identity? I'm getting to Britain experiences. I began to realize that everybody perceived me as black. And it was totally confusing. So I really understand what, she said. I kept saying that I was not black. Where are you from? I'm in Nigeria. Or when they gave you the forms to fill, they would say black, white. You gotta choose one. So the boxes that they created, you gotta fit into one box. There was no box, that described where I came from, where we didn't have black. So what I tell people is, well, yeah, I'm black, because it helps me strategically to engage issues strategically. But every summer, I go home, I spend my summer in Nigeria. Once I get to Lagos or Abuja or wherever I land in Nigeria, the baggage of blackness, I drop it. And I walk out because I'm not black. I know because no one relates to me as black. Nobody perceives me as black. Kind of negotiate. That doesn't mean that we don't have color gradation, because when you look at these women here, you will see really that you will see some differences in their color. It's just maybe the way it appears. Some of them appear more white, some of them appear olive, some of them like peach, some of them like banana.
My son in preschool they were discussing Martin Luther King. And I have many black friends, but I've never taught my kids that they are black. My kids have all thought that they were brown. And on Martin Luther King Day, he was learning about this black man, and he got in trouble from another student and one of the instructors because it was just a picture of his face, and they asked him to color it. And because he had learned that Martin Luther King was a black man, my son grabbed the black crayon. And he didn't understand because he'd never seen a black person before. But we have plenty of black friends. And so I thought, wow, I hadn't even realized that I never made that differentiation. But it's very evident because he didn't realize that.
So the society will begin to socialize him to differentiate colors when it comes to human beings, but other things, not, to stick to the kindergarten use of colors. Yes.
I think it's interesting how anyone with a dark complexion, we call them black, even though there's many Hispanics, and we don't call them by their color, we just generalize them as Mexicans. And they could be from Guatemala or Spain or anything. So, we don't actually use a country
Exactly.
where black people come from,
Exactly.
but we use the color.
Very interesting comment. Yes.
In class we're talking about media effects, and is that, do you think that's the biggest cause of this discrepancy, or is it hurting?
Do I think that the media contributes to this? That's it.
It's the biggest.
Is the biggest? That's a good question. You can comment too.
Yeah, my dad's Hispanic, and I didn't really notice anything. I don't really know my experience in that way. But, I left at college, and my friends were like, oh, you look Hispanic, or you look Mexican, and I was like, no, I think I look white. And I don't know, it's interesting hearing perceptions on it. And my mom was like, I don't know, my fiance, he's Native American, and part Hispanic too, and white. And then my mom and I were talking about the census, and it's like, well, what do you put if you're multi-race, And my mom was saying in the newspaper, there's this guy who, on the columns where you write your comments, the pin column, he said, why do we have all these things on race? And he said for his, he checked other for census and wrote human. I thought he was saying
Human. Brent, please can you get the people, can you come down here and get people when they're making comments? Thank you.
Issues that come with that too. Just because, and who knows what black women means by the federal monetary number, but they are just trying to get a picture of what people look like. And so I think for me, if I hear a black woman, I think of kind of a shared oppression. It's about the way that people are seeing you and reacting to you in America, whether or not you're from here.
Okay.
It's experience.
I just wanted to say, I definitely understand, the focus on, let's not focus on, typecasting the race and stuff like that. But the reality of the situation is, in this country, it is, about race. There are federal things, and I think more to shape the questions, black women, as she said, a shared oppression, it makes no sense. If I don't talk the way that a black woman is supposed to talk. If my butt's not huge, if I'm not ghetto, if I'm not mean, there's such an oppression of what the black woman is from, the media. And even when a black woman is considered to be a catch, she's got to be independent, or there's just so many standards that you have to meet by, songs and by movies and by things. And it's women as a whole are oppressed, in my opinion, but black women especially are just, we battle against ourselves, we battle against images around us, and it's just a whole nother ballgame. And
Okay. I know you want to say something, but let me quickly make a comment about a very important question about the media. Definitely,